welcome back to Georgina Life. So, Kathy, do you want to know about the budget?
I don't like that word at all. Not
I think we all want to know about the 2025 budget, and we have the best people here to talk about it. We have our wonderful Mayor Margaret Quirk, and we also have the Deputy CAO Treasurer Rob Weeder here. This is such a pleasure to have you both. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. And I brought the budget book. And
Wow.
it's quite, you asked if I read everything, and actually I do. I read all the information in here. And before Rob gets into answering your question, I just want to let you know that this book, if you didn't want to look at any of the numbers, or you're not a numbers person,
right.
Reading this book and reading the business plans, the major accomplishments of each department, what projects they're working on for 2025, all the issues, it's all in here. Numbers are in here too, budgets are in here too, but as an information book, you could pick this up and learn about Georgina. If you didn't live here, you could feel like you knew the community, because it goes through all the details of what goes on, how everything goes, what each department does, what they're working on, what accomplishments they're doing, and the numbers. The numbers are really important, but the information in here is more than just numbers.
I love that. That is a large book. I mean, and just by
We won
looking-
awards on the budget presentation and the clarity, the transparency, the information that's in there. It's a major accomplishment to put everything into one book and people to be able to understand what's going on in their community.
understand.
right?
That's it.
That's a big.
I reference this book all throughout the year of the previous budgets.
Right.
You pull out this book. But I'll let Rob tell about how we got to this book.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll just give a high-level overview of the 2025 proposed budget. And really this year we were looking at really looking towards the future. We know that we have a mandate to increase housing supply and to build 6,200 homes over the next 10 years. So in order to do that, we got to make sure that we're planning financially, not just with our existing infrastructure, but also our growth-related infrastructure. So when we look at the 2025 proposed budget, there's a heavy emphasis on that relating to capital delivery. But overall, we are looking at a $106 million operating budget for 1 year, as well as a $36 million capital budget. So that's the overall town budget. We do have 3 individual budgets that kind of build up that budget, which would be our tax levy supported budget, our water and wastewater supported budget, as well as our stormwater budget. So I know the average resident might say, well, what does that mean to me as far as a financial impact relating to that? And we are looking at a 2.99% increase on our tax levy for operating, as well as our 2% infrastructure levy. And for an average resident in Georgina with a single family detached home, that would be about $11 per month, or about $132 to $135 per year. That impact would be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
And we all know inflation's out there. You go to the grocery store, you see the prices. The town deals with that too.
Yes.
Whether it's our costs for gas and hydro, keeping the same level of service is what we hear from residents for the most part. Some want to see something cut, but it's always something that they don't use. And then that person says, no, that's important to me. So everybody has different what's important to them. And so we try to maintain our service levels and try to keep that within that rate of inflation.
Yeah.
So it's
And
not easy.
No.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of public. You want public input,
involvement
which
and
is
engagement.
which is always like you have to.
Yeah, exactly. And I know we've hosted public information sessions. We had the survey online, and they meet with all members of council, have an opportunity to give input into the budget as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what were some of the priorities that people wanted to see?
Yeah, so I mean, so we did do a lot of public engagement this year. So we had over 600 people fill out the survey.
Wow.
We were also at the Merck. We were in Pefferlaw. We were at the Link during the farmers market to try to seek feedback. We also did a dedicated information session where we had 20 to 30 people come at the Civic Center. So after gathering all of that information, really one of the big items in the survey, there were two major questions, and one of them was, where would you like your tax dollar spent? What's a priority for you? And we gave 8 different options that really covers the whole spectrum of the type of items that we do. And one of the key elements was everybody, not everybody, the majority of people, more than 50%, want to maintain the service levels that we're providing. And then the next highest was actually looking at increasing service levels. And there were only a minimum amount of people that actually wanted to see a decrease in certain service levels. But certainly the priority areas that were really highlighted was economic development, our roads and winter maintenance, as well as our parks and playgrounds and different equipment like that. So those were the 3 items that not only do people want to ensure we're maintaining, but also increasing our service level relating to those areas.
Yeah, most people want to see something they can tangibly look at and say, that's where my tax dollars
Yes.
went to.
Yes.
And some of the projects, I mean, there's big projects, there's small projects, there's projects that are kind of sexy, and there's projects that are just kind of the boring stuff.
Boring.
Well, you got to replace, you know, a pumping station. You
Yeah.
got to, you know, replace bunker gear for the firefighters. Really important things, but it's not the fun things
No.
that people maybe want to look at and say, oh, that's what my tax dollars went. People want to see the roads improved, you know,
Yes.
resurfacing, reconstruction.
Yes.
We've got some major work being done on various roads throughout the town. The old Shiloh Bridge, that's one of the big ones.
Right.
That's millions there. Reconstructing the Queensway North, that's in the books. I'll just go through some of the things that we're doing. The Sutton Arena parking lot, the Art Gallery parking lot. You know, you drive into those parking lots, you've driven in there, you got a lot of bumps. We're replacing the seats in the Ice Palace.
Oh, really?
Those things.
Wow.
We're doing a new playground at High Castle, replacing the existing playground. A brand new park, the Terry Fox Park.
Yep.
Now that one is development charges, as is the Queensway North. So
Yes.
some of the projects, not everything is paid for from tax levy.
Right.
There's different sources, and maybe Rob can just say, there's different sources for where we get the
Where the
dollars
developers
to do.
have to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as we're looking towards the future, we want to ensure that the items that the expenditures that are growth related are being funded by either development charges, which are levies paid by developers when they build a house, and that goes towards the capital infrastructure relating to that, building that facility, that new facility, whether it be the fire hall or the multi-use rec center. And then there's the other side, we have to look at the operating costs, because we don't want to place that burden of these new growth related facilities on the current taxpayer. So we look at our assessment growth, and assessment growth is really, if a new subdivision is built, those are new taxes that are coming online that we weren't collecting before. So it's not an increase to the existing residents.
Yeah.
So we make sure we ensure that we're planning to set aside that assessment growth so that when these facilities open, we don't face any tax pressures relating to it.
So once they come online, that money then shifts into the operating for that facility.
Yep.
And then, but it's not, it's planning for the growth, whether it's the operating at the MERC, whether it's the new staff for the fire hall, whether it's, in this year's budget, we have a new fire prevention officer that'll be funded by assessment growth. So then it gets built into the base budget, but it's planning it along the route instead of saying, oh, we need to hire all this staff for this new facility,
Right.
and everybody pays. This way, we've got the new growth, and growth trying to pay for growth. So then, once it's in the budget, then it's part of the operating budget. Once that facility opens, it's there, but it doesn't force a tax increase on the year that it opens, because
Right.
we've been putting aside and building it into the base budget.
Yep.
And actually, we have a reserve now
We do.
for growth-related items, so we're able to plan ahead. It's planning,
Wow.
knowing that you're going to open that facility, that you need
Right.
that operating cost.
So you know what? We're almost at the end of the
Yeah, I
interview, and I
know.
want to know, like, where do residents go for more information about any of this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so the budget is posted online at georgina.ca/budget. We also have copies available at each of the libraries. And if they have any questions about it, we have an email address set up, budget@georgina.ca. They can, of course, reach out to any councillor, as well as Madam Mayor, or even
Perfect.
myself if they have any
They can
questions.
reach out, ask the questions. We'd be happy to
Absolutely.
happy to answer them. But take a look at the budget book. It's a fascinating read.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Listen, don't go anywhere. Much more on Georgina Live.